What's going on, y'all squad? It's your boy Yaka Tees. This is your review for The Real Housewives of Miami. This is season 4, episode 2. So I'm gonna try to run through this again. When I say that, I tend to pontificate. It's when I don't say it that I actually run through it. But we pick up what we left off with age, yeah. I'm sorry, Alexia's assistant contacting her ex-husband, alleged I guess we can call him a mistress, if you will, whatever, ex lover. And he pretty much says he's on vacation, but he is willing to meet up when he returns. Alexia says she wants to do this before her wedding so she doesn't have to talk about it again. But you also have to do the reunion, which means you're going to have to talk about it again. So, and in this episode, we get to clearly see that Alexia is pretty much trying to have three different storylines to make sure that even if they all fizzle in the first half of this show, there's enough where she secured her position on the show. Because you have her speaking with her ex-husband's alleged lover. You have the issues between her fiance and her eldest child, which to me is actually the storyline that she should have been peddling. And then just inserting herself in other people's, so actually four, her inserting herself in Nicole's marriage, which relationship, which we'll get to, and also Lars's OnlyFans. So technically four. So this is one of those where she's throwing darts trying to see what's gonna stick. Nevertheless, moving on. Larsa, we get her OnlyFans talk. They and she was saying she saw celebrities getting an OnlyFans, so she decided to as well. They showed Ray J, and they said he just joined and $0, which is shady as hell. And she uses OnlyFans as almost as a way of dating. That's pretty much it. And I'm gonna be all the way 1,000. Like, if this is all that Larson's gonna give us, I'm not gonna talk much about her because you're not giving us anything. Like, okay, cool, you do OnlyFans. But I guess I belong to that group of people where it's just like, okay, and like, there's nothing else to, like, my thing is this: you do what you want to do with your body. I don't care. If what you do does not affect me in any way, shape, form, or fashion, I don't care. Moving on. Lisa is having a date night with her husband Lenny. It's his birthday. Larsa is in the same restaurant, possibly on a date. Of course, Lisa made sure that that was captured on the cameras because obviously Larsa wasn't shooting a scene. She was just doing her thug thizzle. So Lisa, that was a little grimy, but I'm here for it. She gets his age wrong. I think she said he was 56 and he's actually 55. There's obviously still some issues that they're dealing with. Cause I mean, like, again, I don't know. I'm not gonna trip over somebody, getting my age wrong. To be honest with y'all, hell, I get my age wrong. Well, not now. I just turned 35. But hell, last year I called myself 33 when I was actually 34. It happens. It is what it is. I'm still in my 30s. Whatever, you still in your 50s. Halfway there. Shut up. Leave it alone. But they've been married 14 years. As she's talking to him, it seems almost like she's coaching him through the conversation for the sake of the cameras. And this is leading me to believe that she's trying to convince herself of something. And I don't know what that is, but there's some denial on her part. So we have Gertie. Like I said, she's a party planner. Her husband's a firefighter. He does 24 hours on, 48 hours off. Must be nice. That's a little bit of jealousy because there's been days I done did staff duty, or CQ hold 24 hours and then you only get 24 hours to recover, which ain't enough that because your schedule is all messed up. And yeah, and the worst is when you do it on when you do staff duty with it on a Saturday and then you have Sunday to recover and you back at work on Monday. Must be nice. But anyway, um, she explained how they met, this, that, and the third. All I really got from that is he's just, a very reserved individual. Um, Give or take, possibly doesn't have much people skills, and he's either a recluse or he's an introvert. And there's a difference between the two, where an introvert truly just doesn't want to be around people. Recluse, they can, but it's like, eh. I mean, and that's not pretty much the same thing. But it is what it is. But it seems like her, like, I'm a recluse. Like, I can be a social butterfly when I need to, but I need to recharge my batteries. Introverts just don't want to be around nobody, period. Ain't no. he gives me that. And then also, their eldest child seems to have the personality of the father. And I mean, like I said, as long as they know how to her husband is grown, so as long as her eldest child knows how to communicate what he wants, this, that, and third, should be fine. But he's probably just one of those individuals where if he don't have to be around people, he won't be around them. When he needs to, he will. Um, and then it's mentioned that Alexia pretty much wants a quick turnaround wedding, where for me it seems this is for the show. It was almost like what's that girl named Marisol did her first season on, where I believe it was her husband and his ex-husband. It seemed, I think he wanted it to be fast, but I think it doesn't really matter who wanted it. But literally the wedding happened so fast, and it was literally weeks. Like, it was really, really fast. And it seems like this is what this is, where the wedding needs to happen right now because they've known each other for 5 years. And what could have been done is this could have been a way where, okay, we're going to plan it this season, and the next season is actually going to happen. To make sure, since you want this big, huge, elaborate wedding. But yeah, and I get a feeling that her and Gertie probably gonna have a falling out. Get to that soon. So we have Julia and Adriana, Julia's wife. She does art, and it's almost like action pieces where she'll put the tennis ball in paint and hit it at the canvas. Some actually have the tennis balls on there, racket, all this other stuff. Action art, cool. And Adriana, because because the last time that she really dealt with art, if I'm not mistaken, was her first season. I don't think she did anything in regards to art her second or her third season. But she's doing art again. This is a way for her to, do what it is that she does. And I feel that it's funny that it's on the back of, Julia's wife. Because the last time she did an exhibit, it was different artists, but we're going to focus on this one particular person, but that's because she has a bigger star than you do. But nevertheless, that's what's going to happen. And we also hear Adriana say there's a deep connection between her and Julia. Okay, I guess we're going to see that play out. We have Alexia and Todd. Todd is a realtor. She's stressed, with everything that's going on in her life, but she wants this big wedding. Because he was just like, we can just go down to the courthouse and do this. She was like, well, I did. In essence, she did that with her first marriage. And I guess she didn't have the big wedding with her second marriage, which was to her ex-husband Herman, which that's that whole storyline. So she wants this big elaborate wedding. So okay, whatever. Peter got his. So we get a bit of what happened between Peter and Todd. A bit. We get the rest of it at the end, but Peter had got his realtor's license, went to work for Todd. Things didn't work out. There was a moment of hysteria, and that's all we get in that moment. We get Nicole. She tells us she and Anthony met in Vegas. She didn't like him at first. She thought he was one of those guys where he was just flashing his money to try to sit here and get the young girls. But she got to know him. She liked him. And that's that on that. They have leftover sake, so she wants to do a sake sushi party, which is cool. And she's worried about people's thoughts on her relationship because because here's the thing, people ain't got no business. People like to gossip and whatnot. And I don't understand why anybody is worried. All right, if they situationship works for them, it works for them. And they've been together 5 years, like I said in my last review. At least have some type of legal documentation, etched in stone, where if something does happen, things are covered. And if I did not already say life insurance policy, that too. Other than that, hey, shit, if you like it, I love it. It ain't my business. Period. And he doesn't think it's gonna be an issue. Okay, so now they're at what is it? Spanish mausoleum? No, the Monostar. I think it's Monostar. Whatever it is. We find out that Gertie was married there. We have Gertie, Alexia, and Marisol. Alexia did not answer the questionnaire that Gertie gave her. Now, Gertie spent 20 minutes going on pretty much just talking about the different elements of the questionnaire. And her whole thing is, you do it so I know what it is that you want, because she wants to have the mental and wants to have it done to be as perfect as possible. She even brought up religions, like, if you're Jewish, if you're Muslim, if you're this, if you're that, like, these are things that I need to know to make sure that everything is done correctly. Because another thing is, if you're Jewish, do you keep kashrut? If you do, okay, then now we know that the whole meal needs to be catered in a certain way. If we're going to have meat, if we're going to have dairy, we got to make sure that they're separated. Because yeah, like because I don't even feel like going down that rabbit hole. But make sure that they're separated. All these other things. It's a lot, and chances are, if they're doing the wedding, they're probably not going to have meat anyway. Probably just fish, because 9 times out of 10, the cake is going to have some type of dairy in it. Nevertheless, y'all get where I'm going with this. So she didn't do it because she felt, oh, this is for first time brides. I'm not a first time bride, and it's like, okay, this is letting me know there's going to be tension between her and Gertie. I can't wait to see it. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Alessia wants her boys in the wedding, but haven't asked. Um, because Peter had walked her down. I believe it was her. I believe it was her second marriage that Peter walked her down the aisle. So she would actually like both of her boys to do it. And she even mentions that, well, Todd, he's tougher on boys. And here's the reality, that's typically going to be a thing where in relationships, whether these are his children or not, females tend to be harder on females because, hey, y'all on the same wavelength, and obviously the females are going to sit here and pamper to the boys. Same thing in the reverse, where the men are going to be harder on the boys because, again, same wavelength, and I'm trying to steal some things in you, but when it comes to the girl, I'm gonna be putty in your hands. That's what it is. It's not rocket science. But one thing that I would like to know, because since she hasn't alluded to it, I would like to think that he does right by Frankie. Because for what is worth, Frankie's going to be with her for the rest of his life. So because there's not an issue when it comes to Frankie and Todd, that if that's the case, Alexi, if you don't hurry marry this dude, I'm just saying, because you have a lot of dudes that don't want to deal with that type of thing, because a lot of men do not have that mental capacity and the emotional, bandwidth to deal with, someone that has special needs, especially as an adult. So, Yar. All right, so we got Alessia and Peter. So Peter was married, lived in London. Now he's back. He's getting a divorce. Alexia feels that with what he's going through, he's projecting it onto her. Possibly. And given what we've seen of Peter over the last couple of seasons, I can believe it. And I'm going to just reserve my thoughts until we get the rest of this information, because I'm on board with Ty and I feel Peter ain't. Whatever. Um, he tells her, well, your uncle can walk you down the aisle. Now, this is one of those where, look, I understand all of this. I've had to deal with my mother getting remarried. The difference is I was somewhere around 11, 12 when my mother got remarried. Bro, you are almost 30. The most you can do is want what is best for your mom, and there just be clear, lines, etched in the sand between you and the husband, and that just be it. Period. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, y'all grown. I mean, I can't tell somebody when to get over something, but it's like, this is who she's choosing, and she's done the majority of her job getting you from the cradle to being a grown man. Now it's time for you to learn for yourself, because she was doing a whole lot of holding your hands. Anyway, I'm going down a rabbit hole. Where was we? One thing I didn't like is Alexia wanted him to apologize and get over things, not because she was trying to frame it as it's going to help you, but she was saying, but when this begins to hurt other people, and all that what she was saying without saying is, I need for you to get over this for me, not for you, which is very selfish. Like, if your son don't want to get over it, he don't have to. He really doesn't. Anyway, enough about them. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. So we have Nicole. This is the sushi sake party. Larsa brings up to Kiki. Kiki is Gertie's friend. Brings up her and Marisol. No, I'm sorry. She brings up to Marisol Kiki and was asking if they had buried the hatchet, but there hasn't been a conversation. Kiki and Marisol go talk off to the side, and they pretty much, apologize to each other, hash things out. We find out Kiki is dealing with a a called off engagement. Alexia pushes the issue of marriage with Anthony. And she's like, well, any and every woman want to get married, this, that, and the third. But again, it's And this is one of the things that I don't get and I don't understand. And we when I'm and I say we, the whether you like it or not panel when we did Potomac, was it Potomac? Yeah, Potomac this last go round. I don't understand how somebody can be depressed. I don't understand how and I need y'all to follow me because I deal with depression and anxiety, but I don't understand how somebody can be dealing with depression, anxiety, have all this stuff going on in their life where you should be focusing on what the hell is going on in your life. Like if you going through so much, but you got time to sit here and be all up in somebody else's life, there's a problem there. Because if anybody sits here and they literally read you like a scripture, you gonna be in your damn feelings. And this is one of those like worry about what the hell is going on in your life. Cause it's one thing to just sit here and try to pour into somebody with the knowledge that you gained over the years. It's another thing to just be messy. So we find out from Alexia that this, like, so here's more to the story. So there was a day Peter had came over and he was smoking. Frankie had already smoked. And the way she framed it let me know, okay, there's a timeline issue going on here. What happened? And they were in the basement or lower level, whatever. They came up. Now, what ended up happening is Frankie had legal cannabis, but he smoked too much, which caused him to pass out. He hit his head on the table. I believe his, I think she said blood pressure went up, heart rate dropped. I believe that was the sequence of what happened. Um, Peter had to bring his brother back to life, call 911. Now that happened. Todd came out, and we don't know what Todd said, but Todd flipped smooth the hell out. And that is, I guess, what really caused the issue because she said that it's 5 minutes that traumatized her. And I can understand, I really can understand Todd going off. I understand it because when you're caring for somebody because like I said, he had an accident which has caused him to regress when it comes to certain motor functions and whatnot. He wasn't born on the spectrum, but this is someone that needs help. So you come over now. He didn't smoke more than what he was supposed to. He didn't pass out, hit his head. He almost died. Yeah, I can understand how snap and smooth on, even though that's the sibling. I understand it. And if I'm not mistaken, this is Todd House too. Now, I wonder if this is a scheme set up by Todd to come up with the BS. I don't know, but that's all I got for you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. I will see you all for the next video. Peace out.